Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dychronic here on this Destiny 2 video, and today we're going to be showing you the Xur, his location, his roles, his recommendations for September 17th, 2021. You can find him in this regular spot in the tower. Just head over to the top left section of the hangar. You can find him right here at the precipice of this railing. Look, he only has 3 spots. It's the precipice of the railing, the precipice of the tree, or the precipice on the cliff. Okay, so he's always on the precipice. So let's go ahead and take a look. This is a high overview of of some stuff he has. There is, like, honestly, all of this. Definitely some of these ones down here, and then there might be some Devils. Yeah, 62, 63. Goddamn, good week. First up for the exotic weapon, we have the Merciless. This weapon is kind of weird, but it has actually gotten a lot of traction this season. Not only did they finally buff fusion rifles again, they also gave a bunch of fusion rifle stuff in the artifact, making fusion rifles do a lot more damage with particle deconcellator or something. Anyways, non-lethal hits with projectiles from this weapon make the weapon charge faster until the wielder gets a kill. So if you're shooting at a single target that's not dying, you continually charge faster and faster, and you do a lot more damage. And then impetus is kind of like kill clip. You reload immediately after a kill, you get more damage, which is not really the best part about this. I don't know why it has it, but it has it. Either way, this weapon does some pretty impressive DPS. It actually used to be a DPS hound back in the day when it was a heavy, but it's fallen off since then, but might make a return this season. For PvE. For PvP, I don't think there's a point. For the Hunter exotic today, we have the Shards of Galinor. If you've never heard of it, it's quite simple. Hits and kills the Blade Barrage, returns super energy after the super ends, and I think it's capped out at maybe like 50% of the maximum super, so as much as you possibly can try, you're never going to get that much super, and it's also very inconsistent. That being said, it's always good to have one of these for Vault of Glass because you do a lot more with Blade Barrage than with Celestial. And it's also the #1 best thing to have in Mayhem. If you like just having supers constantly at all times, it's incredible in Mayhem. When it comes to the stats on this particular exotic, you'd like to see a lot of intellect, and for hunters, a lot of mobility, and then generally a lot of recovery. It has pretty decent in each one of these, not the best. I honestly would not like to have this much resilience, but it's not a bad roll. 62 is slightly below average. If you don't have any, I guess you could take this one, but not that great. Up next for the Titan exotic, we have the Oneeyed Max, one of the best exotics in the game. I believe this is like top 5 for Titan exotics just in general. First of all, it highlights targets who dare to damage you. This is just going to be a silhouette, so if you can see that part of them, it will be red, making it a little easier to find them, and then track that particular target down, destroy them for an overshield, which is really nice to have. It's a little bit more balanced now. Holy crap, look at that, 67 total, look at that. On this particular exotic, you'd like to see probably recovery, and I personally like mobility on a Titan, and then strength is never bad to have, but I find this to be more of a defensive tool, or at least for the defensive players, this is the best option. Overall, I'd say pretty damn good roll, very high above average total stats, and you can compensate with other stuff if you want. Up next for the Warlike exotic, we have the Geomag Stabilizers, an exotic that did get nerfed this season. No longer can you sprint to top off your super, now it's just damaging targets with Chaos Reach extends its duration, making it much more of a PvE exotic, because, you know, in PvP, this doesn't really change that much. In PvP, you'd probably just run a different exotic, like Transversive, or Clawsome Kara for the melee, or Karnstein. There's a lot of different options that are all really good. As far as the stats go, total stats of 67 is definitely above average for this particular exotic. You'd probably like more intellect, but even with a super-based exotic, I'm not really a big fan of having more than tier 5 intellect. However, it also has resilience and discipline, which don't really fit this particular build, but you could compensate. A total stats of 67 is pretty damn high. Probably worth it for many people. After that, let's go ahead and take a look at the legendary weapons. The one at the end there is something that I'm very curious about. First up, we have the Dire Promise. Snapshot Rangefinder is actually a pretty damn good set of perks here. High Cal is also nice. However, there's no range masterwork here. This is one that desperately needs range because it is the higher magazine's lower range version. After that, we have a lightweight frame, Grave Robber Quick Draw, not really that great, could definitely do better. Ikelos with Grave Robber Vorpal, which is not bad, but definitely are some better options. Made Ingredient, tap the trigger under pressure is excellent for this, very high stability options across the board, although there are, I think auto loading is in here, but very, very stable overall. We also have True Teller that does have blinding grenades, and concussion grenades as well, so you can choose from it, but these 2 perks are really not great, and it does have auto loading, which I much prefer. After that, we have Steel Sybil, which does have Relentless Whirlwind, which is going to be one of the best combos for sword damage. And it does have Jagged Edge as well, so, and Swordsman's and Heavy Guard, so pretty much exactly what you'd want on a sword. I would highly recommend this if you don't have a good sword. We have Bottom Dollar, which is a 120 energy hand cannon that can have explosive payload. It can have, I think, kill clip in there as well. There's a lot of really great stuff on it. This is not a terrible roll on it, but it is not really that great either. For reference, it can have rangefinder, high caliber rounds, it can have explosive payload. I really love explosive payload on this. It's any hand cannon with explosive payload, anything with explosive payload is just so good. Then finally, the legendary armors. We've got stuff like 62 total stats. We've got 63 with a ton of recovery here. This is something I would probably recommend. And then finally, we do have a 61 with a pretty better distribution. This one's low mobility. A lot of great options if you want them. And of course, there's going to be an exotic quest, which I actually accepted at the beginning here, that gives you an exotic cipher for any of the exotic archive stuff, or an exotic engram. And of course, I would highly recommend the exotic engram, guaranteeing an exotic that you've never received before if you don't have certain ones, and it will be a high stat roll. So if you're sitting yourself pretty here with 67 total, oh my god! This is actually 67 as well, though, so it's, yeah, it's a battle of the big boys here. Imagine a day where you're so filthy rich that this roll is not something you want. Yeah. Hold on. I have an exotic cipher. I forgot about that, because I can use it on this. Omnioculus. Okay, what's the roll like? I guess technically, those are better stats. Outside of the total stats, you don't need strength on this, because you get half of your melee after, you know, making your teammates stuff and marksman's dodge. You never end up really needing strength, so that's a great roll. And of course, as always, I have a live stream at twitch.tv/Dychronic, link in the description down below, right after these Xur videos and all the times on screen right now. Come check it out. Oftentimes have open lobbies for the raid, for pinnacle stuff, for season stuff. We are very chill, relaxed, and very hardcore as well. And of course, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. Specifically, a big thank you to Mama Dak, Dr. Strange, Kelly Allen, Joe Smith, Monte, Steve Bachmas, Raymond Shonin, Panther, Casey Reagan for the support on Patreon. But yeah, that's the end of it. If you guys did enjoy my name is Dychronic, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.